Hi friends, today we are going to learn about the cleaning and shaping of the root canals of this mandibular second molar. The access opening was done in our previous video, how we proceeded and what were the steps involved. Now today's video focuses on the cleaning and shaping of the root canals, and for that we would be using the Protaper Gold file system from Dentsply. It would be a step-by-step video so that you are able to learn each step carefully. The thing that arises first is that after we can see the orifices and have cleared the pulp chamber, what could we see are that these three orifices are the entrances into the canals. So we should first check or negotiate the canals. So for that we can use any 8K or 10K file depending on the width of the canals to just negotiate it. So this is a large distal canal. As we can see, the file orientation as well as the configurations or the anatomical aspects of the second molar. So this is the distal canal, and then over here this one is the mesolingual canal, the file going in the lingual direction, and the third canal is this one is a mesobuccal canal, file almost going straight as you can see over here. So these are the canals that we have negotiated using a 10K file. Now the thing that we should know or we should be doing is to determine the working length. It is a good idea that we can use the radiograph, but depending on the radiograph only is not a good choice. You should definitely prefer using an apex locator to determine the working length. Using the same file that we used to negotiate the canal, we are using the apex locator to determine the apex locator from J Morita Root ZX Mini. This has a very good accuracy, so I prefer using that. So we engage the file in this file clip. There are also various methods to attach the rotary files also onto the handpiece directly, but that is a secondary method. Initially we should be using the 2% taper hand files and insert the file into the canal and look or listen to the beep that you will hear over there. And once you are confirmed that this is the apex, then the chances are that 100% or 99.9% the apex or the biological apex of the root would be there, up to which the canals should be prepared. Looking for the mesolingual canal, hearing the beep and then confirming it, and then lastly we will look for the mesobuccal canal and then just getting all the working length. Note down those working length, that would be the most accurate working length that you can get. Now begin with the irrigation. While preparing, your canal should not be dry, it should be wet. You may be using a gelating agent to help that contains the EDTA to help remove the smear layer, but prefer using any irrigant that would also act as a lubricating agent into the root canals using a side vent needle. See, this is a side vent needle. It has two flows and it is slightly distorted, so let it be. We will irrigate the canals. Your last irrigant must be the saline, and any irrigant like sodium hypochlorite is one of the best irrigant that you can use in the range of 3 to 5%, and then you can use the other irrigants like 2% chlorhexidine gluconate or 17%, 15 to 17% EDTA is also good. Now you have this overlaying irrigant, so just blow horizontally, do not go directly, so that you can clearly see the canals. And now you can begin the preparation. So we have used the 10K file, and now we can begin with 15K file over here. This is a 15K file. Using it up to the working length. Your canals are wet, the irrigant is inside, so you can just use that as a lubricant and just prepare the canals in watch winding motion as I am doing it. Yes, that is enough. Again, for the mesolingual canal, clean the file, fruits of the file with any gauze that you have or the sponge. Now the mesolingual canal have a watch winding motion over here. Then clean the file, again go into the mesobuccal canal, clean it up and done. Now again use the irrigant, preferably sodium hypochlorite. And then just blow up the things so that you can clearly see the orifices. So this is the Protaper file that is the SX file that will help you in the preparation of the coronal 1/3 that you can prepare, not up to the full working length, as it is also shorter in length. So we are just going to prepare the canals using the SX file initially. Do not force the file, consider the higher torque and the speed 300 nCm. That would be good for this file system. And I am using a brushing strokes, as you can see over here. When I stop, you can appreciate the debris on the files. Clear those debris, that is an essential thing. Then prepare the other canals. Do not stay at one point for more than 2 seconds. Otherwise the file is liable to get separated. See, I am not staying at any point, I am just brushing against the walls. As you can see, the debris that are collected, and then clearing up the debris again and preparing the last or the mesobuccal canal with this SX file. So done with the preparation, start with your irrigation. So for irrigation we would be using we had already used the sodium hypochlorite. We will again disinfect with 2% chlorhexidine. And then we will use the saline as an irrigant. Once we go into the full canal preparation, we should be using the sodium hypochlorite to get the best disinfection that we could get. So now you can appreciate the orifices over here. Seems quite clear. And now we would begin with the S1 or the shaping file 1 of the Protaper file system. It's a shaping file 1 of the Protaper Gold file system. Now we can also start to use a gelatin agent. We prefer using the glide as a gelatin agent. This glide from a dense ply, it has EDTA as well as carbamide peroxide. The EDTA is 15% and the carbamide peroxide is 10%, and also it contains polyethylene glycol 58%. So this combination helps in removing the smear layer, also disinfecting the canals and helping in lubrication. So we would be using this to remove the smear layer completely, and simultaneously or side by side sequentially we would be irrigating the canals with the sodium hypochlorite. So entering the orifices and then just going up to the full working length. As you can see, now cleaning the fluids of the file and then again using the lubricant into the mesolingual canal first, as we are going sequentially like that. So we will just be preparing the canals in a same sequence so that we don't forget to prepare any canal also. Just 2 to 3 strokes are enough in a brushing motion, that is sufficient. Again going into the cleaning the fluids of the file and then going into the mesobuccal canal up to the full working length. As you can see, done. So this is done. Now we would irrigate with sodium hypochlorite. The debris would be there. So canals are just done with this. Now we would be using the shaping file 2 or S2. S2 is a white colored or the file with a white ring. These are 6% taper files in a standard designed by Cliff Ruddle for efficient rotary endodontics and in efficient cleaning and shaping of the canals. So we would be using this as a secondary file for shaping, again using the brushing strokes, not keeping the file at any position for more than 2 seconds, just brushing it against the walls. As you can see over here how my handpiece moves. These files are really flexible, you can use them efficiently. Clean the fluids and again insert the file into a different canal. Clearing the fluids is essential. If you don't clean it, the debris would accumulate in the apical third and ultimately you won't be able to prepare the canals. So inspect the file of any debris, clean it up and then insert the file into a newer canal. And now into the mesobuccal canal. Here you can see that we are into the mesobuccal canal up to the full working length and remove it clearly. The file should come out clearly. And now irrigate with sodium hypochlorite all the canals. Then you can use the other irrigants. Metrogel also can be used as an irrigant for the anaerobic bacteria, but as we are already using a broad spectrum chlorhexidine and even the sodium hypochlorite, that is sufficient, but if you prefer you can use that also. Now we have prepared the canal with S 2 or the shaping file 2. The thing now we can do is, or we must be doing is, just have a look at the patency of the canal. Use the same what we can say, you can use the 10K file to negotiate the canals as to there should be the patency up to the working length the file should go. If this is the working length, all this file should go up to the working length. See and check yourself, the file is going up to the working length, the file is loose enough up to the working length, as you can see. So this is the patency that we want. Again, inserting into the mesobuccal, inserting it into the mesolingual. The file is loose, still a bit engaging in the apical part, as we need a final preparation. So as we have inserted the file, our protocol is to irrigate it to remove any debris that might be there. And after irrigation, we will now begin with the finishing files from the Protaper Gold file system. We will begin with the finishing file 1. This is a yellow band file from the Protaper Gold file system. This is finishing file 1. Based on the width of the canals, we decide on which should be our last file. So narrower canals, finishing with this file or the finishing file 1 would be sufficient. Now since our canals are already having an irrigant, we would just don't use the smear layer remover or the glide. The file should go smoothly up to the working length. And done with that, again proceed with the other canal, mesolingual first. And now the mesobuccal. First clear up the flutes or the file, and then into the mesobuccal. So it's done now that we had prepared or finished the canal with the Protaper file 1 F1, and we should be using, since these are a little wider canal or the moderately wide canals, for those we can use the finishing file 2, that is a red banded file. This is the finishing file 2 that we can be using. And now using this file into the canals up to the full working length, as you can see over here. Then clearing the file and again going for the mesolingual one, clearing the thing so that you can easily inspect. I am not blowing the air directly into the canal. Then again doing the same thing into the mesobuccal, the last canal that we need to prepare. See, the file is now going smoothly into the orifices and the debris is collected. So once again irrigate with chlorhexidine we are using. Then we will irrigate the canals with sodium hypochlorite. And the thing now you can do is we can use an endo activator to activate the irrigant, as this is the final irrigant. So we will just insert it into the canal orifices and activate the irrigant, sodium hypochlorite. Again for the mesial canals, mesolingual first, as we prepare that first. Then the meso buccal. See how much it is going completely into the canals, as you can see, as our canals are prepared. So after this, irrigate with a saline all the 3 canals. So the chances of separation of the file were minimized using the brushing strokes and avoiding the stay of the file at any particular position for more than 2 seconds. Now this is the final thing that we get, are all canals are prepared, irrigated well sufficiently as we assume it, and finally the canals are prepared up to our satisfaction over here. So this was a short demonstration of how we can proceed with our cleaning and shaping with the help of Protaper Gold file system for all the 3 canals. So thanks for watching. Bye bye.